The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you for joining us. I want to start out and remind you once again to hear this show and see it. Go to stewart.com/radio or to hear and see any past shows. Once again, stewart.com/radio. I want to tell you, this is a unique real estate market. It is still moving along at a rapid pace, but also as homeowners, we have situations where we need plumbers, electricians, and those trades and others are in great demand. And I want to tell you about a great tradesman I ran into, Nick's Plumbing, and that is in a world where it's hard to find plumbers, and also some of these tradesmen are charging a lot more than they should. I ran into Nick's Plumbing. I was doing a project by myself, trying to do it by myself, and I gave up at the very last step, so I resorted to calling a plumber. I called Nick's Plumbing, and they said, well, we can't have a guy out for another day. And I said, well, look, I have my water off, and the step that I'm on, I'm going to be without water for 2 days if you don't come today, or I'll have to get another plumber. Well, this guy, John, the operations manager of Nick's Plumbing, walked me through the repair and tried to help me finish the repair. And when I couldn't get that done, he said, look, I'll have a guy over there in about an hour. So hats off to Nick's Plumbing. If you need a great plumber, honest, and the price was incredibly low. Nick's Plumbing, they do great work. They're great people. Also, we have a show coming up in a couple of weeks where we're going to talk to people that have moved to Houston. We hear about all these people moving to Texas, moving to Houston along the way. So we're going to talk to 3 individuals or so from other states and other cities about their impression of Houston and a whole bunch of other things. And now it's about time to get down to business right here in Houston, Texas, as we welcome Kevin Reynolds with the Kevin Reynolds team. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So here we are. Real estate is screaming along at a rapid pace, as we know. First of all, Kevin, let's tell people about your company.
So Reynolds Realty Group's been around. We've been doing business here in Houston since 2002. As a Kevin Reynolds team, we changed to Reynolds Realty Group when my son Logan joined us about 4 or 5 years ago. We do residential, commercial, and investment farmland. Our bread and butter, of course, is resale residential.
And in fact, we're going to talk to Logan here pretty soon, too.
Yep.
In the meantime, as far as the marketplace, when we think geographically, especially for people that are listening to the show on the internet outside of Houston, let's tell them the kind of area that you work here in the greater Houston area.
Well, we're primarily the Heights and North Houston. Now, we will go anywhere for our referrals. We've sold anywhere from Pearland to Galveston to Baytown, Austin. But our bulk of our business is now referrals. So Logan's really working the Heights area. I'm still working the Spring Woodlands, Conroe, that area north, Cypress. That's where I've lived. That's where we've been doing our business for years. That's where I do my church. That's where I do my friends. So that's kind of where I end up at. But it's mostly all referral business. You don't see very many signs of me out there anywhere advertising because it's all word of mouth.
Except for being on the radio.
Except for being on the
radio.
radio.
Here you are. Let the word go forth. Here is
that radio face I have on here.
Don't we all? So in the meantime, Kevin, as far as the market, what do you tell? Let's start with the buyers. What are you telling them right now when they know you, they get the referral, and they say, hey, I'm going to call Kevin. They call you, look, Kevin, I need a place to live. Springs, Cypress area, or any of those zones. How do you prepare them for this
First
adventure?
word out of my mouth is patience. In the market today, it is patience. It is stay calm, don't get excited, be prepared to hustle, bustle, multiple offers. If we see something you like, we may not have time to look at anything else. We got to get back to the office and write an offer because if it's newly on the market and you like it, so does somebody else. The inventory is so low right now that they're getting multiple offers within the first hours of these homes hitting the market. A lot of them getting offers before that actually ever goes on the market. When a sign hits the yard, people are contacting them and sending offers in then.
In fact, in my neighborhood, I'm seeing a lot of coming soon signs. 2 houses away, The coming soon sign was on, and there were people looking at the home. Yep. And then 2 weeks later, it was for sale, and it sold immediately.
Yep.
Maybe by those first people that looked at it. I don't know.
That's the thing today. Where we've been allowed now to put coming soon signs. We have a time limit, how long it has to be out there. Let them get it prepared and to get the market out there knowing that it's coming. We used to really need that a year and a half, 2 years ago. Today, we don't need a coming soon sign. We just need a for sale sign because it's going to get offers. But we still do put our coming soon signs out there. But patience is the key word for buyers out there right now. We can find you the house. But if you need to move in 2 weeks and you need to have something on paper in 2 weeks, that's going to be tough in today's market if you want to shop around. And be prepared for over the asking price. No home warranties. Buyers paying title policy. Of course, we got to do business with Stewart Title, but buyers paying title policy. But it's a different market. It is in the way the contract's written. The reputation you've had in this industry for the years, knowing the other realtors is key. In building that relationship between that other realtor, they know they want to work with you and you're going to handle the business right. And we got to have some extra cash, too, for overpriced offers. It's just what the business is today.
Well, there are some people through the years, whenever they buy anything or when they seek to buy something, even services, there's a mindset of some people that say, I don't want to pay retail. So this market for them, I'm sure there's some stress and strife. And that's the kind of person I am, by the way. So anyway, I know that person very well. So there's a real mindset change that we have to get into. So if I want to go out and buy a house, the days of me saying, well, that's listed at $400, I'll give you $375. I'm not ready for that. I'm not going to get that house if I proceed that way. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct, especially on a new home that's been listed.
Then the big question is, and as the realtor helping your buyer, how do you advise them how much to put? Again, let's say it's a $400,000 home, and I say, Kevin, wow, $400,000, I don't really want to pay more, but I will if I have to. How much more should I offer? How do you navigate those waters?
It's going to vary from neighborhood to neighborhood, how long the house has been on the market. It's also to the relationship you have with that other agent and trying to figure out where we stand on that, where the offers are coming in. But I would say on an average of something like that today, you're probably looking anywhere from $400,000, 2 to 3% possibly more on the price that you're offering. On $150,000, you may be looking at as much as 5 or 6% over. It depends. If somebody doesn't want to pay retail, then I say here's what we do. When we do our search, we look for anything that's been listed for 6 months or more, and then we can bargain with them. The house has been out there on the market for a while. It's not fitting somebody's needs, and that's where we can do your bargain shopping. But if you need a house now and you need to get moved, be prepared. There's no for sales. There's no discounted houses out there that are newly on the market.
Very interesting. As far as the sellers now, how do you advise the sellers in the marketplace? I want to list my home. Kevin, I want to list the house. How should I get ready for that?
Well, I know all the sellers are hearing about all these fabulous overpriced offers, but the thing is we got to be real careful about. We got to list it where we think it's going to comp, and we've got to work with our sellers for them to understand that if we list it where it's going to comp, that's the actual value of the home. And what's going to happen is the buyers are going to build that price up. So when the appraisal is done, if the appraisal has to be done, but if appraisal is done and it comes in at where I asked it to be listed at the original list price, it's the buyer's responsibility to pay the difference. If we got a $400,000 house and they want to sell it for $425,000 and we list it for $425,000 and it comps at $400,000, which I said that's where we need to list it, we've overpriced the house. It's our responsibility, or they're going to come at us to lower the price because we had it marked up too high in the first place. So what we're seeing, if we'll list it where it needs to be, where the market really says the numbers are, the buyers are going to raise it up. And that's where our knowledge and the years of experience comes in, is we need to make sure that agent knows what they're doing, that their buyer has proof of funds to pay for over the appraisal price.
And when you're seeing buyers, certainly you get people that you've worked with in the past and also the referrals. What about people from out of state and out of the city of Houston? How are they finding you? And what are the areas that you see them come from?
Well, with Logan on board, he's been able to do a whole lot of social media for us and really get us onto the social media platforms, which I didn't know how to do. So he has all that stuff taken care of. So we get a lot of calls from people out of state coming in because they've seen social media and YouTube and videos and things that we're doing now. So when they contact us, the ones coming out of state, they're pricing is so high there, they're comfortable paying overpriced when they get here. So we don't really have to coach them near as much. It's the local people that have not seen that and not used to doing that. So those California people come in, they're happy to drop 50, 60 grand over the price of what the house is just to get it, because they're seeing what they can get for the price here is what they got in California. So they're comfortable with that. So it's not as hard coaching those buyers coming in from even Austin or California or Utah, Colorado, some of the places where the market is what you get for the price of the house is so much greater there than it is here. They're comfortable with that.
And we do hear a lot about California. So you're actually running into California buyers along the way. They're finding you.
We are. And the ones that I have worked with have been nice to work with, have been a joy. They've been happy to pay over the price for the house to get it done. And they want to get it closed quick and get it done, so they'll pay for it.
And as far as what they're looking for, everybody has a unique situation to fit their family needs or individual needs. But do you see that when they get here and they see I'm guessing they can get a lot more land and a lot more space. What are some of the things that they say or their observations when they start looking with you, either virtually or when they actually get here?
Well, I think one of the things that I see most of them that they're doing is that if they've got kids at schools, we've got such nice, great public school systems they can get in that they're able to find good homes in areas with good schools. The older folks where they're empty nesters and the kids are gone, they're looking for some more urban style living, maybe some brownstones, things like that they can pick up that would have cost multi-millions of dollars there, where they're not near the same price here, but they're still getting the same quality, like the Woodlands or Town and Country, City Center, Galleria, things like that, where they want to be amongst the hustle and bustle, but still get to see trees, which you can't see in L.A. and some of those places.
And speaking of trees, I think you mentioned farm and ranch and some country scenes. What sort of things can be found as far as if someone says, I want a lot of space, I want to go a little further out in your area, what can they find out there?
Oh, there's plenty of acres.
What if I have horses even?
Plenty of acres. There's actually neighborhoods out in the northwest side up towards Magnolia and all where you can have 8 or 10 acres and horses on your land and have kids riding their bikes down the street and have neighbors. There are neighborhoods out there. There's still plenty of land for us to continue to grow. Lots of acreage property, lots of farmland out towards Anderson, out towards Huntsville, even staying close to the new toll road that's coming in out of Bryan College Station and the Aggie Expressway. I mean, off that, they can still get access to and from Houston pretty easily and just be a few miles off outside of that and have some great acreage property and some great golf courses up there, too. If they're looking for golf, boom, let's head up there.
That sounds pretty good. We're talking with Kevin Reynolds with the Kevin Reynolds team. Also, Kevin, as far as give us a quick word on new construction in your area, let's say Cypress and Spring. What's it like in your area?
Well, I mean, the new homes are still going up. Neighborhoods are still being built. They're still there. There's a waiting list to get on most of those homes. Here's the floor plan you like. Here's the model home you like. But you may be 4, 5, 6 months out before they can break ground on it. The days of having accessible inventory is not as prevalent as it was at one time. There are a few of the neighborhoods further north up into Magnolia that they're throwing up some houses pretty quick to get some people in. But if you're looking for the bigger kind of semi-custom homes in the more upscale neighborhoods, you're definitely going to be on a waiting list.
And before we close the segment, Kevin, what else would you like people to know?
That Reynolds Realty Group, Kevin Reynolds' team, and Logan Reynolds are here to serve you whenever you need. We'll cover all your wants and your needs, and not only that, we put the fun back into a serious business.
Putting the fun back into serious business. Kevin, what's the phone number?
832-347-3277. 832-347-3277.
Sounds like you said 832-347-3277.
That's it.
Thank you, Kevin Reynolds.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Let's welcome Logan Reynolds with the Kevin Reynolds team. Logan, welcome to the show.
Howdy, Bill. How are you?
Great. Here you are on the team with your father, Kevin Reynolds, doing tremendous work, right?
Yeah, some have said that.
Well, let's tell people your role on the team, Logan.
I'm pretty much just an agent with him. I do pretty much the same thing as him. He's been doing it 20 years, and I've only been doing it 5 years.
That's still a long time, actually. And when we think about even 2, 3, and then 5 years in this real estate market, certainly in Houston, Texas, that's a long time. And each year has been a lot different from,
It really has. I think my first year was whenever rates went down past 5.
Oh, you got a good time.
And everyone was freaking out about that. And then last year rates went down to, I think one of my buyers got like 2.25.
Wow. Well, anyway, your main office is in Spring, but as far as being an agent, you're doing a lot in the Heights, and you actually live in that area. Is that right?
Yeah, I do live in that area. So a lot of my stuff, a lot of the listing appointments we've been going on has been North Heights, Northwest Heights, near Heights Boulevard, a little bit in Oak Forest I've done, kind of just that area.
Well, as we're thinking about changing gears, let's move into the Heights as far as talking about that. You're there. You know what's going on. Give us an idea. We could kind of guess, but what's going on in the Heights as you're there helping buyers and sellers?
I mean, it's the same thing everywhere. So in the Heights, a lot of people want to move there either from they're empty nesters and they want to be back in the city, but they don't want to be in the city. They want a little suburban feel, but you still have everything with you. Or it's people who have just gotten married and they're about to have a kid, or they want to have kids, and that's what it is. It's literally complete opposites. People who are done with their life and they're retiring, or people who want to start their life.
And as far as price points in the Heights, where is the starting price point? And I'm talking about a home that you can live in, not something that's going to be torn down and you're going to build. But where's a starting point for someone that says, man, I want to get into the Heights? Where does it start?
So a good starting price is going to be about 1,100 to 1,200 square foot home, 2 bed, 1 bath, maybe 3 bed, 1 bath.
It's almost like a cabin.
It's almost like a little cabin.
A little cabin. But
those are starting between 450 to 500.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit pricier, but people pay for where you want to be, you know?
Right. A lot of stuff going on there, no doubt. Now, that may not even have a garage, right?
No, a lot of those do not have garages. So
all right, let's say new construction in the Heights, because I not that long ago I went through there. I saw a couple new things. What's going on if you want something new, or relatively new?
You're going to be paying a whole lot more than that, but
are we in the 800 now? Or?
You're going to be about 650 to 700, I believe. So
it's expensive.
It is a little bit more expensive, but a lot of people want to be there. What they're doing is just buying the older homes that just get torn down. They're buying the lots for $500,000, and they're putting a $1.1 to $1.5 million home on it, and a lot of people want that.
So as far as the strategy then for the buyer that says, hey, Logan, I want to buy a house, how do you get them ready, and how do you successfully get them a home?
So again,
or guide them through to get a home?
Again, it's the same thing. It's patience. You have to understand that sometimes cash isn't key and sometimes price isn't key. You have to figure out what the sellers want. Obviously, if it's a new build, you have to figure out what the builders want. With the sellers, sometimes they might need a lease back. Sometimes they might need a longer close. Some people think just because you can do a 21-day close, that's not the best thing for them, because when they sell, where are they going to move? They're going to need the exact same thing. So I just need to tell people that we have a few people coming out of state, a few people coming from Austin, a few people coming from up north to come down here. So it's just patience. It's essentially the same thing.
Also, your father, Kevin, who's right here, said that you do a lot with the social media to help people bring awareness to your company, especially those that might be from out of state. And certainly right now on the internet, there's people out of state that may be reaching out to you. But as far as on the websites and things and the platforms, what platforms do you use to get the best results?
So I would say the main three things are probably YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Those are the main things. More people go on those 3 sites than they do on every single channel, on cable or on Dish or on whatever combined. Even on YouTube, I think. So we started our YouTube channel literally, I think like 2 weeks before the close down last year with the pandemic. And we had one listing, and that was our first video we did. And we started doing home tours just because, hey, let's get some more brand awareness. Pandemic happened, people can't see the home, so what do? They want to see a home tour of it. And so a lot of our videos are getting 1,500, 2,500, 6,500. I think one of them, is past 10,000 maybe now.
Good
which
work there. Yeah,
isn't that much compared to a lot of the other YouTubers out there, but hey, we're growing. So,
and what is the channel if someone wants to reach out to that channel?
So it's just my name. It's Logan Reynolds, but I believe you can just type in Logan Home Tours or Logan Home Tours Houston. There might be another Logan Reynolds out there, but I believe I'm the only one who does home tours.
I do know there's a Logan Street, and that's
There
the
is
street.
a Logan
That's the street
Street.
I grew up on in Pennsylvania. So in the meantime, the video that got the 10,000 views, what was the subject matter, by the way? What do you think made that one so popular?
It was actually a flip of a home that we did. I don't remember the exact month that he started on that, but I filmed it, and it was $360,000, so not crazy priced, and we got over 10,000 views. I remember people were commenting saying, hey, I'm coming to Houston. Can I see this? Hey, we're coming in. We got an email from it, phone calls from it. A few people from San Antonio who are moving here from their medical school there, one of the UT branches, and they're going to they wanted a good school district. They wanted good everything, and so they wanted to be driving distance from the medical district here in Houston.
Interesting. Well, you bring up a point, too. We talk about people coming from other states and that. How many times, like this person from San Antonio, how many times are you seeing people from Dallas, San Antonio, and other Texas cities coming here to the Houston area?
Yeah, well, I would say a good amount. Out of all the homes we sold last year, I would say maybe 25 to 35% of them were out-of-state people. I remember one of our homes we got out-of-city people, but a lot of it is Austin, San Marcos, not that many Dallas people, I would say, but mostly like the hill country from what I saw.
And I would think if some of your focus is on the Heights area, you're probably getting people that might be maybe Katy, Conroe even, that say, look, all right, I've been out in the suburbs, I've been out in the country, I want to be in the city for a change and see what that's like. Do you see that?
Yeah, I actually have. So again, like what I was saying earlier is that you have all these people who all their kids are out of the home and they wanted to move back down to the Heights, or they wanted to move to West U, or they wanted to move to Montrose. So that's kind of what we're seeing now.
And Logan, you could be doing a lot of things in life other than real estate. What was it about real estate that drew you into the profession?
So, obviously my dad was doing it forever, and I would just ride with him, and he would talk to me about it whenever I was a little kid. But I think the main reason was that's how I paid through school. I want to be a waiter. There's nothing wrong with being a waiter, but I'd rather sell a home than wait tables. And so that's how I paid through school, and I got my license whenever I was 19, maybe 18.
Early then,
so
right?
I started very early. So a lot of people didn't want to work with a 19, 18-year-old, which kind of understand, but I'm
Some
24
people did,
now.
yeah.
But some people do. Some people gave this kid a chance. And so I've been doing it for a while now, and I'm 24 now, and even still now people are like, we don't want to put all your money with this 24-year-old, but this 24-year-old has more experience than a 45 or a 50-year-old.
There you are. And you grew up around it with your father and seeing it and living and breathing real estate. And sometimes that could be the reason you're like, well, maybe I want to try something different. But here you are. You found it fascinating. It pulled you in, and you're enjoying it. And who knows what the future holds, huh? If it keeps going like this, I mean, what's your gut feel as someone in the profession now, 5 years at least, other than as you grew up around it? What is your feel what it's gonna be like a year from now, 2 years from now? What's your speculation? No one knows, but take a guess. 1 year from now, or a year ago, we didn't think this is how the market was going to be. But it is.
So
what about next year?
I could not tell you. I could not tell you. I just hope we keep doing good and we keep getting our past clients, referrals, and everything, and we just keep on growing our business. I think a good goal of ours would be to open up either a brokerage or get a branch of KW, which is who we're with right now, and have our own little office and kind of do that type of deal.
Well, it also sounds like a good move as your main office is in Spring, right? That you have a presence in the Heights, so you really are kind of completing a certain sector of Houston and enabling your Kevin Reynolds team to do a tremendous job and serve people all over the place. So that's a super thing. Before we close the segment, Logan Reynolds, what else do you want people to know?
I have no idea, honestly. Just follow us on social media, Logan Home Tours on YouTube, the Reynolds Realty Group on Facebook, and the Reynolds Realty Group on Instagram. So trying to grow those things.
And if someone wants to reach out to you and give you a phone call, what should they do?
Just give me a phone call at 832-279-7466.
Again?
832-279-7466.
Thank you so much, Logan Reynolds.
All right.
Let's welcome to the show Weston Brown with iHeart Inspections. He's in the home inspection business. Weston, welcome.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, let's tell people you're doing home inspections. That's a big job, so many details, but let's tell people about your company, where you're located, and the area that you're serving.
iHeart Inspections, we started in 2019. We're a fairly new home inspection business. We serve the greater Houston area, and we are located in Spring, as you know. Mm-hmm.
But you also have been in the profession prior to starting the business, right? So you know a lot about the building of the home, foundations, all the mechanics, and those things.
Yes, sir. Yeah, about 2001, I started with working with the engineering companies, mostly in the Galveston area and Brazoria County for windstorm inspections, and doing foundations as well, yes.
Well, it seems to me that in any home, you're inspecting new homes and existing homes, new construction as well, but there's so many details. Give us an idea when you approach a job for someone, they're going to buy a home, they're in the contract period. You go out there to inspect the home. First of all, how long does a home inspection take on the average? Let's say 2,000, 2,500 square feet,
right.
3,000. What's the time that you allot?
4-hour blocks are about right. It'll take about 4 hours.
So in 4 hours,
yes.
You're looking at that home from top to bottom, all the systems. Mm-hmm. How do you approach it from your mindset to what do you do first? What's most important? You must have to have a critical eye. Tell us how that works.
Yes, you have to have a routine or it'll be easy to miss things. So we always start in the kitchen, and then we just keep hooking right until you get all the way back around to where you started. That's right.
And then you go, what about the attic or in the heights? We just talked about the heights. There's crawl spaces there, right?
Yes, there are. Absolutely, yeah. Depending on the weather, we'll hit the roof first or the crawl space. Try to get into the attic before it gets too hot, yes. And we work from the top down and then keep going right until we hit every component in the house.
Okay, kind of off on a random track here, but I do have to ask, maybe you know the answer. Why do they put the hot water heater in the attic in many cases? I don't like that. I have my hot water heater in my attic. I don't like it. What's the deal?
I don't know why they would do that.
But you see a lot of them, I'm guessing.
Do. Ours is, in my house, it's in the garage. You'll also see it there as well.
That's what it's supposed to be, huh?
Yeah, and you have to check because that water heater's heavy. So we have to make sure that they have the right framing materials under it to carry that extra load too.
So if it is in the attic and you're inspecting that home, you're looking at the structure of
Absolutely.
where that water heater is placed, because water is heavy and the machine itself is heavy.
Yeah, they should have doubled their ceiling joist at least to make sure that it's going to cover the weight of that extra water. Absolutely.
How often do you see where it's not?
Often, very often.
Well, that's
when I'm
disturbing.
doing phase inspections with the engineering company, we'll catch that, but they will have us come back and recheck.
Okay.
So we'll get it fixed eventually, which is right.
When you look at, let's say you looked at 10 homes recently, right?
Okay.
10 homes, and they were all pre-existing homes, we'll call it. Do you see certain problems in those 10 homes that crop up? Like it's always, man, here it is again. Here's this problem. Are there certain things that are continual problems or that you see a lot of?
Yeah, in my report writing software, I have templates, pre-written issues that happen over and over. You'll see a lot of problems with the grading around the home where it's not sloping away, where the water could come back and get penetration to your slab, which will cause settling or uplifting, a lot of that. And kick-out flashing. For some reason, they don't put that in. That's to divert the water away from the side of your house.
Kick-out flashing.
It would be where...
Is that on the home?
It's on the gutter where the roof will tie into the exterior veneer. And what will happen, that water can get down the side of your brick, moisture intrusion, cause rotting, and problems with your foundation. Yeah, absolutely. Water is very damaging.
There's no doubt about
that. You
that.
have to divert it away. Yeah, I do see that a lot.
So you see that. What else do you see? What about as far as air conditioning and heating? Well, let's just take air conditioning, for example, because that's more important here.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
That's
and
right.
I'll stand by it. But go ahead, yeah.
You'll see a lot of older units. We have a way to check the age of the unit using the serial number.
Sure.
So older units, and you're going to run them really hard. Absolutely, yeah. Sometimes the secondary drain might be clogged. These are sort of maintenance items that I think a lot of homeowners don't know really how to maintain just like your water heater should be drained every year. And
Really?
absolutely, because you get that sediment buildup, and it will run less effective and efficient, which will cause you to have
That's
to
what
buy a
I'll
new
be doing
water
after
heater.
the show, by the way. But in the meantime, so that's a big thing. But the other thing is that when people look at homes, they don't look at it with your critical eye. They're looking at, is it the layout right? Do the colors match? Is the flooring the way I want it? Is the bathroom updated? The kitchen updated? But these are very important things because there can be problems. And let's tell people about your report. You showed me your report. It's beautifully bound.
Thank you.
Each home inspection Weston has here. He's got a great booklet that shows exactly all those things with the home. But in the meantime, what are the things that some things can be fixed and no big deal, right?
That's right.
But what are the deal breakers in your mind? And it's different for everybody, but if you were looking at a home and you inspected the home wherever it is, you looked at it, what are the things that you'd say, I'm not going to do this thing? What are the deal breakers?
Well, it's funny. In this market, I don't think anything's a deal breaker.
There you go.
Everybody's
Just
looking to buy.
Here we go.
But
for you, though, if you were going to buy a home, what would you look at?
It would be foundation
so if you saw
failure. If I saw major cracking on the sidewalls of the foundation or major settling, you can see it from the outside. Brick veneer might have the stair-step cracks. Foundation is very expensive to fix, and it's intrusive, and it takes a long time. So if I saw major foundation issues, that would cause me to be alarmed.
Think twice. Right.
Absolutely.
What are some of the other things that you run across that people might find interesting? I guess it's probably like each real estate transaction is different for a variety of reasons, but you look at each home and each one's different, right?
It is, and there's a lot of similarities as well. And that's why I think it's so important to have a knowledgeable inspector come in through your home to sort of give you, that's what this report is. It's more of a manual to your house so that you can go and you can understand how your home is functioning, what could be possible problems, future problems. And, when I get in there, I sort of run it like a used car. I'm going to use the blinds. I'm going to open the windows. I'm going to use the doors and
Roll
cabinets.
the windows down, yeah.
And if we have a blind come off, it's better me to do it than for the homeowner to get there, or a doorknob to break off, under normal use.
And the beauty to me as a potential home buyer, when I look at it, and people can't see it unless they look at the YouTube video, so you can hold it up for the YouTube video. So the nice thing there is if I get that inspection report and I go on and I buy the home, I accept it, or we get things fixed, then I close on the home, I could take that report and put it in my drawer.
Yes, sir.
And then I
Absolutely.
always have that as a reference point, and that's the snapshot through your eyes on that particular date, right?
That's right.
Because, a year from now, maybe the air conditioner wears out or something else breaks or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But that is a very valuable thing. And to me, it's worth the price of the inspection right there to have
Thank
that
you very
handy-dandy book.
And we give these free to all our clients, and that's absolutely. I wrote in a separate section in our report called the appliance info. It's all of your dishwasher, your all your HVAC, your furnace, and we have all the serial numbers, model numbers, age, capacities of what they are, all in one place. So if you needed to have your dishwasher maintenance, you can look right in here and get your serial number, your model number, and everything that you need.
We're talking with Weston Brown. He's with iHeart Home Inspections. Weston, what is it? You could be doing a lot of things too. What is it about the home inspection world that you enjoy doing every day? Because you're pretty busy right now too.
I am, thank you. I love the detail to it. It takes a certain kind of person to go through every component very slowly, methodically. And I love the detail. I love I'm more like a detective.
There you go.
I'm slowly finding out the story of the house. And it takes 4 hours for that whole story to be complete. And that's what will be in the report at the end of it.
Everything you see about the home tells part of the story, doesn't it?
Just a little piece. And until the end, we don't really know how the whole system is working.
And in fact, we hope that it tells the story that this home was really well built.
That's right.
Well cared for.
Well, that's my favorite thing to tell people is when it's great, yeah. And when there's problems, you have to let them know.
That's right. Before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know, Weston?
We just want you to come to iHeartInspections.com. You can come and get a quote and find us. You can give my wife a phone call, and we can get a quote for you. Her name's Erin. We want to make our clients become like our family.
And what is the turnaround time? So let's say you inspect a home tomorrow morning, and you take that 4 hours. So you get there in the morning, it's lunchtime. How soon do they get the report? And then they're going to have questions, so they can call you and say, "Hey, Weston, what does this mean?" Because I'm not a roofer, I'm not an AC guy.
Right.
But how long does it take to turn around it after you leave? Let's assume you have lunch after the inspection. I'm getting hungry, by the way, but go ahead. Yeah.
There isn't much left to do. I bring it home, and sometimes I'll have drone footage that I'll need to upload into the report. You'll get it the same day. Normally, I have about an hour left to sort of clean the report up, and then it'll be emailed directly to you, just like that.
Because I would think people can't wait to see what you found out.
They're
hopeful, right?
And I try to write my deficiencies in such a way that they might not have too many questions. I write it very clearly. Right.
I'm going to add this. You said something about you go in the home and you run it like a used car. You go through the things. I bought a home last year in Arkansas. The home inspector was great, and he didn't do that. He did not open the windows, because when I moved into that home as my vacation homes, guess what? None of those windows opened. They were like cemented shut.
What a pain, right?
I mean, that's something I should have done too. In the meantime, Weston Brown, the phone number is, Weston?
You give my wife a call, Erin, at 832-326-8920.
Give them a call at 832-326-8920. Home Inspections, iHeart Home Inspections, Weston Brown. Thank you, Weston.
Thank you very much.
I say it all the time. Stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer, and we are close to one right now. She is part of the A-plus team at Stewart Title right here in the Houston area. Her name is Lynn Riddle. It's always nice to have you back, Lynn. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
And thanks for bringing the Reynolds team and Weston Brown here today. It's just awesome.
They are. They're all very awesome.
And they said they like Stewart Title and Lynn Riddle, too. That makes it even better.
I like to think that.
Well, you're doing tremendous work. There's no doubt about it. Let's tell people about your office.
Well, we are located on Highway 249 and Cypress Wood, and I have a team of 4 escrow officers and now a junior escrow officer. We can cover any type of real estate transaction you have. They're very knowledgeable. They go above and beyond, and they're just there to make these guys look like rock stars in their closings.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a super office. In fact, I didn't mention, but Weston with iHeart Inspections brought his son Cash here. He's in the studio with us, probably having a great time, right, Cash? He's giving
Very cool, yes.
Yeah, he's giving us a thumbs up right now. So what are the things going on? Everybody's busy. I'm so tired of hearing, I'm busy.
Yeah.
But you're busy too, right? And your office is unbelievable.
Busy.
Yeah.
Yes, we are doing really well. I guess the thing that I do most in sales is find what the needs are for my realtor customers and try to fill those needs. So right now, one of those needs is getting back in person and networking and seeing people. So we have started our in-person monthly networking happy hour again. And so it's going to be the third Thursday of every month.
Third Thursday.
And currently it is at Little Woodrow's in Tomball from 3:30 to 6:30. So it's a standing date. I typically invite the realtors to a Facebook event. And we had a great turnout last month, so this will be our second one.
So people can jot that down right now and attend. And the reason I say stay close to the Stewart Title Business Development Officer, especially you, Lynn Riddle, because you're right here right now, is that you're doing things like that are fun for the real estate professionals. You're doing things that are also very informative, CE classes. Let's tell people a little bit about that. You have any of that coming up?
I do. So what I have coming up this month on the 21st is the Real Estate Podcast 101. I'll be hosting that over at Real Property Management Preferred. You had Joni and
Kevin?
Yes, Joni and Kevin. The Wolfwinkles on not too long ago. So we'll be hosting that at their office, Real Estate Podcast 101. In July, on the 8th, I have Modern Staging with Deborah Heelan. July 15th, I have Legal 2 with Sue Presley. The 15th is also our monthly happy hour for July at Little Woodrow's. So.
Well, I might even attend that one.
You should,
so
Bill.
I'm going to put that on my calendar. That sounds awesome. And yeah, the Wolves one, Joni and Kevin, they're doing tremendous work too.
Yeah.
Out there with their podcast and their property management business. Well, as far as your office goes, give us an idea. Your escrow officers really are some of the top in the business. Let's say hi to them a little bit.
Yes. Shout out to Rebecca Whip, Martha Martin, who's our Spanish-speaking closer, Crystal Monaforte, and then also Greg, and then our phenomenal commercial closer, Dana Duncan.
Because I'm getting reports that they listen to the show all the time.
They do.
That's awesome. Before we close the segment, Lynn, what else should people know? We're talking with Lynn Riddle, one of our A-plus team, not escrow officers, but business development officers right there on the front lines, helping real estate professionals all the time.
So they can reach me at 346-225-7993. If they will like our Stewart Title Champions Facebook page, I post all of my classes and events on that page as well.
And that's the name of your office, Stewart Title Champions, because you're all champions, no doubt about that.
That's right. We're all champions.
The number is 3.
I like it.
346-225-7993. It's that simple, right, Lynn?
That's simple.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us, Bill. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Once again, the insurance segment begins right now as John Bramlett is right here. John, welcome.
Thank you, Bill. Nice to be here with you as always.
As always, the preamble is so awesome because it gets people in the mood. It's like the appetizer before the dinner. It gets them in the mood.
Absolutely. The ratings winner, insurance discussion.
Exactly. So in the insurance world, in the Stewart Insurance world, let's tell people what's going on.
Well, I'm going to throw you a little curveball today,
All right.
Bill. I'm going to throw you a little curveball.
I got my mitt right here.
All right, good. As we've talked about several times on the show recently, we're growing and we're looking for new people. And we have several new staff members that are part of the team. And one of the things that we do when we bring new people on is indoctrinate them in a selling process called integrity selling, invented by a guy named Ron Willingham, who we've adopted several years ago. And it's been integral in our commitment and our culture. And so today I kind of wanted to share he has this great sales congruence model that all of us that sell, and I firmly believe that everybody's a salesperson at some level, that we all should think about. And if those 5 elements, the closer they come together, the more in congruence they are, then the more successful you'll be as a salesperson.
There you go. In fact, there's a book, Integrity Selling.
Absolutely.
You gave me that book, and I'm still reading it.
That's right. 2 of our new associates, Mark Weston, Karina Benvenides, and I are just finishing up. We'll review the last 3 chapters today, but we've read it together. So it's like I said, it's an important part of our culture at Stewart Insurance. So the 5 elements are, what are your view of selling? So to be a successful salesperson, obviously you've got to have a positive view of selling. If you don't have that, then you need to read Integrity Selling, and you will. But that's first and foremost. The second is the view of your abilities. The more comfortable you are in what you do, the more positive you are in how you handle yourself and how you feel like that you are as a salesperson, that's going to be successful. The values that you have need to be congruent with the values of the company that you're working for, the group that you're selling with. And that's critical. And that's an element that we look for when we're hiring our associates, is to make sure that our values and their values align. The fourth one is commitment to activities. There are always activities that we have to do every day. Weston talked about, the detailed aspect of the inspection, and he goes from the roof to the attic to the kitchen and all throughout the house. We all have details as part of our job that if we do those details every day and we're committed to those activities every day, we can be successful. When we let them slide because we let things get in the way or we don't calendar them, that's when we get in trouble. So commitment to activities. And then the last one is belief in the products or belief in your service. We're very fortunate to have all these outstanding Stewart Title business development officers on our team and on the show. They all believe in Stewart. and they all believe in their office, and they all believe in the values that we bring together. It was obvious listening to Kevin and Logan that they believe in their team and what they do and what they bring to their clients. So those 5 elements, view of selling, view of your abilities, the values and make sure they're congruent, commitment to activities and belief in products, the stronger you are in all of those elements, the more those come together, and then you build that congruent circle. And the closer you are to that full congruent circle, the more successful you're going to be as a salesperson.
And it's like, as we had a few years back, we had several airline pilots on the show that were in real estate. And one of the things you talk about, it's systems and procedures. And there's a checklist. I mean, the plane doesn't leave the ground unless you check not just a few things or 80%. You have to check them all.
Yeah, exactly right.
The home inspector in the selling process, those things are just so important, but it's also a great discipline. By having those, it enables us to do the job better and more consistently for ourselves and whomever we're serving.
There's another great book that we have our team read when they join, is called 15 Secrets of Successful Time Management by a gentleman named Kevin Cruz. And Kevin interviewed top executives, top athletes, and top students about, and it's more of a book on more than just time management. It's just kind of how you live your life. And one of the things that he talks about is that idea of calendaring it, that it's not a to-do list, that you put things on a calendar and you schedule it and you be very specific about that. And that's part of what we try to do on our side to commit to activities is we have a time when we want to start that renewal process with our clients. Or if we're doing a new sales process with a client, we have scheduled a time when we want to be ready to provide that presentation and present that plan. We have a time when we need to make sure that plan is bound so coverage is maintained. So we have that type of discipline that when we follow that, not only does it make our lives easier, but it makes the relationship with our clients so much better.
Indeed. And if people reference last week's show, you were the guest host. It was an incredible show in terms of the theme of it, and you had the president of Stewart Insurance, Tom Carpentier. And when I think about things like reading, and I think about John Bramlett's book club, John and Tom's book club that you're now starting, I'll be the fan club president of that. But in the meantime, the content that you brought forward, I'd encourage people, go to stewart.com/radio. That's stewart.com/radio to see and hear that show. You brought forth, along with Tom and other guests, tremendous content that helps us be better at what we do. Move, learn, and care was the thing.
Care. Exactly.
And people could know what that's about by going to stewart.com/radio. I'd encourage them to do that.
I believe that was show 380, so that would make this show 381.
It is. If you look at the serial number, turn the show upside down, the serial number is 381 on this. It's no doubt about it. You know, that's a lot of shows.
It is, and it was fun sitting on that side of the table. But I'm glad you're back.
Well, but the things you talked, physical fitness. We think about sales and we think about doing our jobs in the market and all those challenges. But boy, if you don't have your fitness in line, if you don't move as part of your triage was, you got to stay in shape. You got to be moving out there, and then the other things. But you got to be in shape to some degree to serve people.
Absolutely. The folks that we've studied and learned about that have been successful, and we're trying to build our culture. Everybody has some sort of physical activity on a regular basis. They move. They're continually learning. They continually study, and then they actively demonstrate their care. They're active, whether it be their time, talent, or money, or all three, actively demonstrating their care.
In fact, there's many things we could add to those three things, but the other one that fits into this is read. I'm reading more than ever, and it's helping me in so many ways. I love reading books, and as you reference integrity selling, and I know Tom in the show last week he talks about he has the book on his bedside ready to go that he's going to read that night before bed.
Absolutely.
Where it's continuing learning is exciting.
It really is, and that's the beauty of Real Estate Matters is that our guests today have all, with Weston and Kevin and Logan, they and Lynn all delivered, and of course Cash and what we learned about drumming today. That it's all great stuff, and that's why the show continues to do so well because it's education about and around real estate.
You know what? It's education in the content that's brought forth, but I will add another dimension to this that I'm aware of. I don't know if people are or not, but reading between the lines, too. There's a lot of benefit that you can get in the real estate world from this show and others like it, as far as, let's say, you want to know what your competitor's doing. Maybe the competitor's using an idea that you can use, or maybe they're doing something that you say, hey, I'm glad I'm not doing that. Reading between the lines of any situation like that. The other thing that dawns on me, hey, we have a father and his son in the real estate world. We have an inspector father and his son here in the studio. Kind of like a Father's Day, and we didn't even try.
I know it. It's fantastic. I learn something every week for the show and try to bring it back to the team as well.
And before we close the segment, John, what else?
Well, if you'd like to be properly insured, whether it be for your personal insurance, well, and I know, and you're a great customer of ours, Bill, and we appreciate it, or if you would like your real estate business to be properly insured, give us a call at 866-798-2827, 866-798-2827. You can learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com or send us an email at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
And you're serving people all over the United States, not just here in Houston. We want to remind people of that. Sometimes they may think, oh, they're right here. No, you're helping everybody.
We have clients all over the U.S. That's correct. We work with individuals and real estate professionals all over the U.S.
And some of them have been on this show.
Some of them have been on the show, like Jay Shaw last week.
There you go. All you have to do is call
866-798-2827.
Thank you, John Bramlett. And as we wind up the show, I want to remind you, again, if you came from California to Houston, Texas, go to my website, radiobill.net, send me an email. Maybe you'll be on the show and you can tell us what you think. Once again, if you're from California, new to Houston, radiobill.net, check it out, give me an email. And now we wind up the show with the Kevin Reynolds team. Kevin, before we close, what else should people know?
Just remember, if you need patience, you need guidance, you need someone who's been here a long time and is looking out for you and your family, pick up the phone, call the Reynolds Realty Group, call Kevin Reynolds at 832-347-3277. If you're looking at moving in the Heights or you want that urban atmosphere for your home, you need patience, guidance, and maturity, you need somebody to take care of you, call Logan
at 832-279-7466. Or if you just want to have a good time, call us.
Yeah, and what's the phone number again, Logan?
832-279-7466.
Super awesome father-son team. Thank you guys for being on the show, and thank you, Lynn, for bringing them on the show. Now we have Weston Brown with iHeart Home Inspections right here. Hey, Weston, before we close things out, what else should people know about your company or even home inspections? What did we forget?
Hey, Bill, just want to remind y'all that getting a home inspection is very important. You should make sure you can use us. We're very well trained. We do it because we love it, and we do it with heart.
There you go. In fact, you have a super report that you make available for people. Hold it up to the YouTube camera one time, if you would, and let's tell people your phone number.
You can call my beautiful wife, Erin, at 832-326-8920.
Thank you so much. 832-326-8920. And Lynn Riddle, one last time, we love having you on the show. We love it when all the business development officers are on. But before we close things down, reminding people you are a tremendous resource, as all our people are here in the Houston area and beyond. How can they reach you?
Well, you can email me at lynn.riddle@stewart.com, or you can call me at 346-225-7993.
There you go. It's that easy. 346-225-7993. Thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett, Tom Carpentier, Mitch Lees, Larry Warren, and everybody else at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance. We thank you so much. Just go to stewart.com/radio to see and hear all the shows. Stewart.com/radio. Thanks for listening.